Today I have just come back from Mass, and before I put everything away, I thought I would show you what I take with me in my Mass bag with 6 kids to church each week. I thought this would be kind of interesting as I have tried for 10 years to find the perfect amount of quiet time and reflective items for my children to focus on the Mass. So I'm going to show that first, and in the second half of the video, I'm just going to share with you what I have in my everyday bag that goes with me out on the town, which, well, I don't really go out of the town. I go to parks and sometimes to the shopping plaza. That's my world right now. So stick with me today as I share with you what's in my Mass bag and what's in my purse. So the Mass bag is labeled the Kuster Family Mass bag because I sometimes rush out of there so fast, and I have left it before and it's been returned to us, so we have to label our stuff. I always keep a water bottle in the Mass bag because I sometimes feel woozy and certainly the kids get thirsty, so I have some water with a good lid. I really debated about the food in church thing. For the first few years when our kids were small, I was strict and they just nursed if they were hungry. But sometimes we have to take our toddler out to the foyer, and a few little Cheerios out in the foyer for the last 15 minutes of Mass can sometimes be the difference between a toddler meltdown and a reasonably calm end to the Mass. So I say just be discreet and do what you need to do. The other thing that I found really helpful is this quiet fidget toy, which doesn't make a loud sound, and they love to, you see these everywhere now, they love to just quietly sit there and pop them and look at them and then flip them over and pop them again. So that is nice, and I like that I can wash it as well. The other little toy comes from our math manipulatives, but I really like it just snaps together, and sometimes the little ones will just be happy to hold something. They can use it as a car, they can stack it, snap it in various configurations, and these toys don't make noise. That's important. The girls like to, they sit on the kneeler and turn themselves around and use the pew as a little desk sometimes during a long homily, and so I found it helpful to have these little notebooks that they can just do a picture in or print something. And they also have this bag which does 2 things. It is a toy because they can, flip it back and forth during the Mass, and that's another quiet thing to do. And then I do keep a few select things that they can have in church. I wouldn't recommend crayons because they snap and the babies will eat them. Pencil crayons are better. Yes, sometimes the baby still gets one, but I am pretty good about him not, sucking on them. I don't like pens or anything with lids or anything that's gonna mark up the pew. And, well, Pia's old enough to be responsible for this little thing, and it gives her something sweet to hold. My kids received this at Christmas time from a coworker of my husband's. She handmade these, and I just thought they were adorable, and I didn't want to put them away at Christmas. I wanted to see them all year long. So they've been a little bit abused in the last 4 months, but they're still holding their shape, and I know that they will, with time, get a little stretched and pulled. But I think that it's such a sweet toy, and I want the kids to have things like this to hold. Again, it's quiet. They can manipulate the clothes and kind of dress the characters in the pew. My Rose, who loves horses, she often plays with this a lot, and he travels around the pew and goes up the kneeler and different things. So that is just super sweet and innocent, and I think that anybody seeing us is not distracted or bothered by that. For the baby, I have this little teether / board book. And for the beginner readers, they can look through this simple story. We just got this at our local Catholic bookstore. There's a whole bunch of different ones in this series, the St. Joseph Rattle books. So I thought this is a good one to have in the bag because it has the little chewer there. And then I just love the pictures in this Manners in God's House, First Prayers and First Missal by Newman Press. The pictures are so nostalgic and the quality of this book is beautiful. The pictures are just so rich and soaked in, and there is so much teaching that goes on in this book. I think this is a combination of 3 books in one. Yes, Let's Pray, Good Manners in God's House, and My Little Missal. So it is, look at that, 1951, but there was a lot of good content for children that you just don't see, and good teaching nowadays. So yeah, I just love it. The writing is very special too. You're no longer just a plain child. You're a special child of God, your King. Every boy is a prince, every girl is a princess in the Church of God. There's a lot of effort made here to make the church a beautiful, mystical, special, reverent place for boys and girls to come. So I like that book. And then I just have another notebook here. So you can see this is the type of thing that my kids will doodle about in church. So that is the Mass bag and its contents. And oh, I missed the rosary. Yes, I have a little rosary there too. That is good to have in our Catholic Mass bag. So this is everything that I keep in my everyday diaper bag. I have a pack of wipes. I keep a little flannel, one of those baby blankets, and that can be laid down if I have to change a diaper. It can be used to open up and act as a nursing cover. It can be, if I have a child, say, have an accident, I can quickly whip this out and wipe up quite a lot of moisture. And yeah, it's just a good everything. If a child gets wet, I can wrap them in it. It's a good thing to have. And then I just keep one diaper in my diaper bag usually because we're not gone for more than a few hours, and usually I've changed them right before we go. And I only have right now one child who's in diapers during the day. COVID has really made me a little bit more sensitive to hand sanitizing after we go to the playground, or if I'm touching a shopping cart or something, I do use that. And I think anything that reduces the number of germs coming into the house is a positive thing. I have this little pouch, Do Small Things with Great Love, and it is my first aid kit. And I'll open that up in a second to show you what's in there. So let's look inside the first aid kit. And I also forgot to share with you that I do always have the cell phone. We have one cell phone between my husband and I. I have the cell phone when I go out too. But in my little first aid kit, I keep polysporin, I keep little alcohol sterile wipes, lots of Band-Aids, because that's mostly what happens when you're out, is a skinned knee or a cut finger. I have this little medical tape and a little bit of gauze in here if I had anything of a bigger bleed nature. Usually I just rip this tape and use it to play with for the kids, like little fidget toys. So it's kind of good to have. And oh yeah, I have some lip gloss as well.
Yeah, it's mine.
That's your lip gloss? Okay, I don't know what that's doing in there, but.
Yeah, we keep it in there.
In this little rolled up ball, I have a hair elastic keeping it together, because sometimes you have crazy hair that needs to be managed, right? You've run out the house and the girl's hair is all crazy, so that helps. And then I just have a pair of little black cotton bike shorts, which if somebody did have an accident, a boy or a girl, age 2 and above, they can stretch into these, no problem. And I just have a dry little set of pants for them to wear for the car ride home. I have my car keys. I have some gum that I often use as bribery fuel when we need to leave a playground, or sometimes we're sitting in a waiting room or something. Chewing a little piece of gum or a half piece of gum is super motivating for my kids. I have my very old and used wallet in here. Maybe I should ask for a new one later. In my wallet, some of the important cards I keep are my Creighton model information. I guess because I have 6 kids, people tend to come to me and ask their very personal questions about fertility. And I'm very willing to share the good news about natural fertility awareness. And I really love the Creighton model program. So I always have a card in my bag so I can share with people the Fertility Care Vancouver website and the Creighton model, because that's what we use and I really think it's great. And then I always have in my purse as well these little random acts of kindness cards. And if I see an opportunity to do a random act of kindness, pay for somebody's drink, or sometimes I'll pay at the rec center the person behind me's fee for letting their kid come to, say, the stay and play, then I just like to leave these little cards, and it gives me an opportunity to acknowledge my baby who was stillborn 9 years ago. And so I can do this in honor of my little Thomas, and I think it's just a nice way to help others and make people understand the value of our children that are not here on earth. And then I always keep in my purse as well just some little paper and a pen with a lid. So that is everything in my everyday go anywhere bag. So we usually have what we need for most of the foreseeable things that could happen with 6 kids, 1 in diapers when we go out. Thank you today for tuning.
Thank you for watching, and see you later.
Thank you for watching to the end of this episode of The Coosters. If you have a good idea to share about what I could be keeping in my mask bag or my diaper bag, I would really appreciate hearing from you. Please like this video and subscribe if you'd like to hear more content about big family, homeschooling, minimalists. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.